this is what happened yesterday. So we're talking St Kilda, Melbourne.
Yeah.
I want to have a listen to, first of all, let's go to the commentary of the Miller mark and the winning goal. Have a listen to this.
Now it's a free kick.
Now it is a free kick. So Rowan Marshall will take it.
Oh, no.
He goes quick. Wanganeen-Milera takes the mark. There's the siren. Wanganeen-Milera trots in for the win. Indescribable drama at Marvel Stadium.
Called on AFL Nation by Jordan Canellis. Now, this was the umpire's audio to Max Gawn, and when the 666, so they kick a goal, comes back to the middle, there's 8 seconds remaining, and this was the umpire talking to the playing group. Have a listen.
666. They have it before.
Oh, he said, no, bring it back. We're not set. We're not set.
You need to bring
It's an infringement.
So they're not allowed to get players behind the ball, are they? They've got to have position.
Wait! You got to have 4 in the middle. We got to wait. We got to set it up. We must set up the positions. Set up the starting positions. We must set it up.
That's the correct rule.
Reset it all. Got 4 in. Okay. 666. Here we go.
And off they go.
Okay, so there it is. So that was the umpire explaining, because Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera ran away from the square, wanting just to get on with it. Rowan Marshall was pleading to get the ball. Max Gawn was going, what's going on? Yep. Melbourne looked confused. One man will be able to add something to that is Dean Margetts, former AFL umpire, did over 300 games. Dean, appreciate your time in the early doors. We just want to get you on to seek clarity on the rule of the reset of the 666, because I went on social media yesterday and said, why did the Melbourne players all stand around the middle? Why didn't they all go back to the backside of the square? Can you explain the rule?
Hey,
good morning, Simmo and Simmo. And good, Simmo. First of all, why didn't you want Dean Margetts on, Simmo? That hurt a bit when I heard that. Gee whiz.
Oh, I thought Goss was taking over as usual. Like, he sort of fills the air and then he asks you a question that we've already answered. But mate, let's get you on every week, mate.
That's good to hear. No, good to be part of the program. Yeah, look, it was a lot happening, wasn't it? First of all, I think we need to really commend the umpires for starters. We don't often do that in the media. We want to bang the umpires a bit, but to show that composure, to make sure that he went through the correct procedure of getting him in position was right, because lots are happening and the umpires don't obviously practice those scenarios like players either. So I thought Nick Brown needs to be commended for that. But you're absolutely right, Tim. St Kilda are all over the process of what they could and couldn't do, and Melbourne seemed to be a bit deer in the headlights, and there's many players that I'm sure you've articulated could have had a better role in that situation, definitely. But you do not need to be hanging around the circle. You can be inside the square as long as you're in the square. That's your starting position. The two forwards need to be in the goal squares, clearly, and anyone else can be anywhere they want to be, provided they're in their quadrant.
What about if they started somewhere in a different quadrant? Do you have to be where you started? So can Max Gawn flip with a defender and put the defender in the square and he goes behind the play, as long as you got your 666?
No, because that's the position you've started in, so no, you can't. That would constitute a time delay, so that wouldn't be allowed. And we want to try and make sure that the players are in their area at that time. Because obviously with Melbourne, that's what caused the free kick, because they weren't in their position. So once you're in that spot, you need to be in that spot.
So what caused the free kick at the beginning?
I think they only had 3 in the square.
Correct.
So they had got some confusion. So once we looked around and then we saw the warning had been done, a free kick was the only option that could have. And what we've seen there, guys, is I think we talk about it regularly, even on your show. It's about time we got rid of the warning, because look how exciting it becomes. It's about knowledge. And Simmo, you'll know from my time coming to the Eagles for pre-season chats about, I've always said to the players, knowledge is power. The more you can know in the heat of battle, it can determine the outcome of games. And here's a classic example of what I was referring to.
So what I would have done if I was a player, I would have gone straight to you guys and gone, listen, can I stand on the edge here, or can I do this, can I do that? You can talk to any player. It's not like it's a captain's talk, is it? You can, if any player wanted to get clarity, they could just come up and ask.
100% they could have. And you can see Petrarca almost crestfallen. It's almost like Melbourne accepted, we can't win this game anymore, so it doesn't matter. And you look at Jack Bowie, he goes and stands in the hole. Now, he's never going to impact that kick long. So why wouldn't he be standing on 50 waiting for St Kilda to charge forward and make contact? So there were so many things there that Melbourne could have done to prevent it, but they obviously just didn't know the rules and got caught out and were fatigued and beaten up. And St Kilda, and you can see Rowan Marshall talking and Naz about what they want to do. And for him to hit that actual kick was extraordinary bit of football. It really was.
So, Dean, just on clarity,
Yes.
when the umpire says, and you hear the audio, we need to reset, all he's talking about is the holistic 6-6-6 reset, not positions, because people are saying that they had to come and stand. Now, one player has to stand the mark, clearly. Someone has to stand the
Well, he
mark.
doesn't have to, but you should, because they'll just run in.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, or he's out. So can you be outside 5 in that situation?
Yeah.
Oh, don't even start me on the outside 5.
Yeah, I know,
but
me
yes,
neither.
you could have been,
Me
yeah,
neither.
yeah.
But just to clarify, so they don't have to,
Yes.
no such thing as coming in and standing where you think you have to stand when the ball was about to be thrown up the bounce the first time.
Yeah, and
Absolutely not. Yeah.
And the other clarity is that Max Gawn couldn't have flipped with someone. You got to go back where you where you were at the start of the 6-6-6 is where you have to restart in your starting position. Okay, so I think
Melbourne couldn't. Yeah, Melbourne couldn't get the setup right in the first place. How are they going to get it right when they're doing a 6-6-6 free kick? So no, that wouldn't happen. But as you're saying, Tim, Petrarca, Oliver, Gawn, they could have all gone and run to the back edge of the centre square there and set up there if they wanted to. But, as you can see with Naz and Rowan Marshall, they made that play. They sort of knew what they could and couldn't do. And as I say again, the more knowledge players have in situations like that, the better it can be, and they won on the game. So it was pretty well done.
Yeah, well, and you're right about the umpiring. Can you imagine if the umpire got that wrong? What would have happened today? So,
we'd be still killing it. Yeah, we'd be torturing the umpire. So I think we need to acknowledge that the composure that they would have been going, hey guys, make sure we reset that. Make sure we wait for the chime for the broadcast. Lots of things happening for the umpire there. They're caught up in the adrenaline of the game as well. So for them to bring it down to a composed level, I think they need to be commended for that. So it was well done.
But now on the flip side of that, a little globe's gone off in my head. Right, there's a bit of space up there. Jacob Van Rooyen's having a shot on the siren. And Jeff Dalgleish is standing next to, and I mean next to the bloke standing the mark in high vis. Why was he standing there? I know why he's standing there, because he's trying to say you can't play on. You don't stand in the line of sight of the player. Surely that was a wrong positioning.
Yeah, they seem to have changed that, Tim, with the 4 umpire system. They get in behind the man on the mark to virtually get that sort of line of sight, but also to determine if they play on. I don't like the fact that umpires go up to a player and say, you can't play on now because it's after the siren. I don't like... They're AFL players, and if we're educating players like that, we don't tell juniors to do it. Why would we tell an AFL player? So I don't like that. Yep. Let the player absorb the moment, go through his process, and if he misses, he misses. I sometimes agree with you. I think, you see the fluoro shirt there, he's talking to me, get out of my space and let him play. I agree with you.
Hey, good on you, mate. Thanks for taking our call, and a lot of people are saying it's great that you and Simmo are back together again after all the time cheering with each other over the journey.
We should get him on a semi-regular basis.
No, we've tried. Let's just speak to manager just a bit. Everyone wants a piece of him. Hayes wants Margetts. Duffield wants Margetts. We want Margetts. We love Margetts.
Oh, Timmy, let's get the band back, Timmy. Let's get the sting in the band back. Come on.
I think so. All right, Dean.
Mate.
Good on you, mate. Love you.
Anytime, guys.
Good on you. There he is, Dean
Yeah.
Margetts. Good fella. Ripping fella.